Naoya Inoue, widely known as the Monster, has built his reputation not only on raw knockout power but also on his cold precision and unshakable composure in the ring. Born in Zama, Kanagawa, Japan, he appeared at first glance like an unlikely destroyer, with a calm expression and youthful demeanor that belied the sheer violence of his performances. Inoue's career became a testament to a man who not only fought his opponents but dismantled them, stripping away arrogance and bravado with every thunderous punch. His journey through multiple divisions was not only the story of a Japanese fighter making history, but also of a man who punished disrespect and proved over and over that being underestimated was the worst mistake anyone could make against him. When Inoue moved up to the bantamweight division, many expected him to meet his first true tests. His first opponent at the weight was the tall British fighter Jamie McDonnell. The height and reach advantage were supposed to create problems for the Japanese challenger, but before long, the gap in class became undeniable. McDonnell, like many Western fighters at the time, underestimated Inoue, even making light of his name and struggling to pronounce it properly, joking that he could barely remember who Inoue was. But when the opening bell rang, McDonnell was introduced to him in the harshest way imaginable. Inoue cut through the taller man's jab almost immediately, ripping punches to the body and head with surgical intent. McDonnell was quickly pushed onto the ropes, and once Inoue connected cleanly, the Brit's composure vanished. Within the first round, McDonnell collapsed under a brutal assault that exposed just how helpless he was. After a barrage of shots, the referee stopped the contest, and McDonnell, who had entered the ring mocking the Japanese fighter's name, left it humbled, knowing exactly who Naoya Inoue was. With that performance, Inoue announced himself on the world stage, but he was only getting started. After dispatching opponents in Japan, the time came to prove himself in front of an American audience. His U.S. television debut was a pivotal moment. The American opponent downplayed his accomplishments, claiming Inoue had only fought at home against smaller men and was untested against world-class competition. That attitude changed quickly once the fight began. Inoue entered the ring like a predator, jabbing with force and landing sharp right hands that immediately caught the attention of the crowd. His timing and accuracy silenced doubts in minutes. By the second round, he was unloading damaging combinations that left his opponent reeling. A heavy right hand followed by a perfectly placed left hook to the body put his opponent on the canvas. Though the American rose to his feet, the punishment only worsened. Inoue's relentless attacks left him slumped against the ropes, unable to respond, and his corner mercifully stopped the fight after 6 brutal rounds. The once dismissive fighter had been completely broken, and Inoue had gained the admiration of fans who now understood why he was called the Monster. As he continued through the bantamweight division, Inoue faced Emmanuel Rodriguez, a previously unbeaten fighter from Puerto Rico who carried himself with pride and refused to believe he could be stopped. In the build-up, Rodriguez's team even disrespected Inoue's father and trainer, Shingo, shoving him during a public workout. Inoue remained calm, his arms folded, knowing the ring would deliver his revenge. Rodriguez came forward aggressively in the first round, determined to test the Monster head-on. For a few moments, the exchanges were competitive, as both men landed heavy shots in a thrilling start. But Inoue's patience paid off. A perfectly timed left hook dropped Rodriguez to the canvas for the first time in his career. Though he rose bravely, Inoue showed no mercy, ripping another devastating body shot that crumpled the Puerto Rican fighter. Within 2 rounds, the undefeated man who had never been down was dismantled, and his aura of toughness was shattered by Inoue's ruthless precision. Inoue's dominance continued, but his greatest test came when he stepped up to super bantamweight to face Stephen Fulton, the unified WBC and WBO champion. Fulton was widely regarded as the best in the division, an American fighter with slick skills and confidence to match. Leading up to the fight, Fulton expressed disbelief at the hype surrounding Inoue, suggesting that seeing a Japanese fighter excel was surprising to fans but nothing new to him. Many analysts saw Fulton as the slight favorite, predicting a grueling back-and-forth contest. But from the opening round, it was clear who the superior fighter was. Inoue's jab was lightning fast and impossibly sharp, dictating the pace and keeping Fulton on the back foot. Every time Fulton tried to find an opening, Inoue was a step ahead, countering with brutal precision. By the middle rounds, Fulton was battered and hesitant, unable to let his hands go for fear of the incoming punishment. In the 7th round, Inoue ended the suspense. A straight right hand to the chin followed by a vicious left hook sent Fulton crashing down. Though he bravely rose, he was a sitting duck as Inoue swarmed him with a flurry of punches, forcing the referee to intervene. The supposed toughest opponent in the division had been dismantled as if he were just another stepping stone. Inoue had conquered a new weight class, solidifying his legend. Yet perhaps his most emotionally charged fight came in 2024 against Luis Neri, a Mexican fighter despised in Japan for his past transgressions. Neri had twice beaten beloved Japanese champion Shinsuke Yamanaka, once testing positive for a banned substance and another time missing weight, tainting his victories and earning the wrath of Japanese fans. Facing Neri, Inoue was not just defending his undisputed title but also avenging a national hero. Early in the fight, Inoue tasted adversity himself when Neri scored a knockdown in the 2nd round, sending shockwaves through the Tokyo Dome. But Inoue composed himself, listened to his corner, and responded with fury. In the very same round, he dropped Neri with a thunderous left hook. From that moment, he switched into another gear, punishing Neri relentlessly with snapping punches that echoed around the arena. Neri, desperate and overwhelmed, even feigned fouls to the referee, claiming he was struck illegally, but the onslaught only intensified. In the 5th round, Inoue dropped him again with precise hooks, and though the bell saved the Mexican, his fate was sealed. In the 6th, Inoue unleashed a perfect right hand that folded Neri against the ropes, ending the fight in spectacular fashion. The crowd roared in satisfaction, seeing justice served at last. Inoue had demolished the villain in front of his people, reinforcing his reputation as both executioner and avenger. These performances were not isolated moments of brilliance but part of a consistent pattern throughout Inoue's career. Whether against unheralded challengers or elite champions, his approach was always the same: methodical, precise, and merciless. Against opponents like Warito Painas in 2016, he wasted no time, charging out from the opening bell with heavy punches that left his rival smiling nervously, as if unaware of the storm about to engulf him. Within 2 rounds, Painas was overwhelmed, knocked down, and finished in front of a roaring Japanese crowd. Inoue's efficiency left no room for doubt. He was not here to entertain with drawn-out battles, but to end fights as brutally and quickly as possible. What set Inoue apart was not just his power, but the calculated way he applied it. Many fighters possess knockout ability, but Inoue combined it with timing, accuracy, and a calmness that made him uniquely dangerous. He rarely wasted punches. Wide shots at the start of fights often masked his true intentions, softening opponents before he adjusted and zeroed in with surgical precision. His left hook, in particular, became one of the most feared weapons in boxing, capable of ending fights instantly whether aimed at the head or the body. Time and again, opponents who had never been knocked down or stopped found themselves crumpled on the canvas, unable to withstand the assault. Equally impressive was Inoue's composure outside the ring. While others taunted, mocked, or disrespected him, he rarely responded with words. His answers came in the form of merciless punishment between the ropes. The disrespect McDonnell showed by mispronouncing his name, the arrogance of Americans who dismissed his accomplishments, the shove delivered to his father by Rodriguez's trainer, and the national humiliation inflicted by Neri, all of these insults were avenged not with trash talk but with fists. Inoue became not only a champion but also a symbol of dignity and retribution, someone who allowed his discipline and fists to do the speaking. Through his journey, Inoue amassed belts across multiple divisions, carving out a legacy as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. Fans around the world came to appreciate not only his devastating knockouts but also the humility with which he carried himself. In Japan, he became a national hero, filling stadiums with fans eager to watch him dismantle opponents. Abroad, he won over skeptical audiences who at first doubted whether a fighter from the lower weight classes, particularly from Asia, could truly dominate at the highest level. Every time he stepped into the ring, he erased doubt with violence, turning critics into believers. The story of Naoya Inoue is one of unrelenting dominance and poetic justice. Time and again, cocky and disrespectful fighters entered the ring with him, only to leave humbled, beaten, and broken. From McDonnell's mocking remarks to Fulton's confidence, from Rodriguez's team shoving his father to Neri's history of cheating, each opponent carried arrogance that Inoue crushed mercilessly. He proved that talent and discipline outweigh hype, that respect must be earned, and that when facing the monster, reputations mean nothing. Every punch, every knockout, and every brutal finish added to the legend of a man whose calm demeanor masked a ferocity that few could comprehend until it was too late. Inoue's career is far from over, but already his resume reads like a gallery of devastation. He has left behind a trail of once proud fighters who underestimated him, only to fall victim to his precision and power. For fans, his fights became not only contests of boxing skill but also morality plays, where arrogance was punished and respect restored. In a sport filled with noise and bluster, Naoya Inoue stood apart, a monster not because of how he looked or how he talked, but because of what he did when the bell rang.